This is a picture that was drawn by a grade 4 student. What do you guys see here? Obviously, someone being hurt, someone being bullied, someone being tormented. But why is that? Well, maybe she's new to the country. Maybe her English isn't that good. Maybe she's just different. Maybe she has autism. This is a familiar scene for myself because my own brother is diagnosed with autism. In fact, the bullying was so bad in elementary school that he was picked on so much that his nose was bleeding profusely in the corner of the playground for the entire lunch hour, and no one was there to help. Now, this isn't an uncommon scene. Autism affects 1 in 68 individuals, but it can also cost financially as well. As we talked about earlier, autism can cost upwards of $60,000 a year, and this does not even go to the emotional hardships that families go through. Here's a picture of my brother and I. And throughout his whole life, my family really held on to the belief that he can be productive and a happy member of society. And I'm really proud to announce that he's currently finishing up his degree at University of Toronto in music, so he's doing very well for himself. But what made the difference for him? First was genuine and meaningful relationships. After school, he had a program. We'd go, meet friends, develop his social skills, and that's a place where he found his best friend there, he found his previous girlfriend there, and a place to just be himself. But unfortunately, after a couple months, this program disappeared because of funding issues. It provided him a place to be himself without fear of bullying, and a place to connect with other peers, not in a bullying sense, and not just paid older professionals. And lastly, this place gave the parents and caregivers a place to get plugged in to the resources they need to support their families. However, this isn't always the case. I've worked in summer camp and recreation for over 11 years throughout different communities all across the city. And I've seen many kids grow up with special needs and fall through the gaps. This kid, his name is Jerry, and throughout his childhood years, he was well supported at home, at school, even throughout the summer. He had the staffing, he had the supports at home to really thrive. But as adolescence kicks in, and as puberty comes into play, high school bullying, he really wanted to expand. He wanted to make friends. He wanted to develop his own social skills, find a girlfriend. But unfortunately, at that age, the programs disappear. Not really well supported throughout the teenage years. So instead of making friends and going out in the community, he was stuck in the basement by himself. And he wasn't even allowed to go outside on the fear of embarrassment by his family. So it was very heartbreaking situations, and it's very numerous. Growing up as a brother with someone with autism, it was very difficult. I knew he was different, but it was very challenging to see him being picked on by his peers. It was very difficult to see him scolded by teachers who don't understand, or even the glares that we received from the different families that we went around. And because of this, I acted out. I was angry. I distanced myself away from my family. But I remember this one instance, and this is in high school, where I witnessed someone older really beating out and bullying a poor student. He was taking his money, and really, I took the active role. I decided not to get involved because I thought this would not affect me at all. I soon later learned that this same bully was also bullying my brother. I was upset, I was angry, I really want to teach this kid a lesson. But then I realized that as much as I wanted to distance myself away from my brother, away from my family, the thought of him, or someone like him, being tormented for being different really got to me. So instead of bullying the bully, we try to find the benefit of bullying, really build from that moment. Not just for him, but also people like him as well. So these stories carried on as I transitioned to university, where I met a lot of friends, and we talked about our own experiences with autism, whether it be a family, friend, neighbor. And as the discussion grew, it included future doctors, future nurses, future educators. And we even talked to other students with autism. We talked about the crippling anxiety they feel in social situations. And as the perspectives grew, our idea of what autism means to individuals, it means to families, and means to communities also grew too. And we learned three important things. The first important thing is that recreation-based therapy, recreation-based programming, is as good and less costly than cognitive behavioral therapy for reducing anxiety. The second thing was that of the barriers that families go through to get the resources they need, whether it be financial or being in underserved neighborhoods. And the last thing was that peer-based social programs allow teenagers to not only practice their social skills, but also to create their own social support networks for their teenage years and beyond. So knowing all these things, I went to my best friend. His name is Brandon. Went to him, like, look how much good we can do in our community. We know these things. We can do this free weekly programming, and look how much people can benefit from this. So he said yes. So let's do this for 2 months. So on July 2014, we started Autism Teenage Partnership. And after the first 2 months, we were very proud of ourselves. We were able to show that we can do this as young people, all students, working full-time jobs or full course loads. We were able to do this with volunteers, no paid staff, on a moderate budget, and the community was getting all the benefits. We thought to ourselves, knowing the root cause, why stop here? Let's expand to other locations. And from that, knowing the root issues, 2 years later, we've launched over 3 programs across Canada, serve over 80 participants with autism, both adults and teenagers with diverse diagnoses, not just autism. And our motto is building confidence, where we not only build confidence with our participants, but also with the volunteers who are able to use their classroom learnings, and with our parent group, who is able to really connect with other caregivers and get the resources they need. I'll never forget my brother being bullied. I never forget him being hurt. I remember feeling defeated, powerless. There's nothing I could have done. But instead of indifference or anger or frustration, we were able to use our lived experience to find the benefits of bullying, to build from that experience. So my challenge for you is to really embrace the differences, embrace the challenges that you go through, whether it be personal or professional, and share it with the people you care about. Witnessing my brother bullied changed my life. And if a small group from this city is able to enact change, imagine what we can do together if you just share our stories. Thank you.